You can see with all of these rocks, I could build rock walls for years around here and never use up all the rock that we've got. Well, it's been a while since we checked in. It's been a very busy summer between trying to work and work on our own place. We've had a few setbacks, we've changed plans a few times, but we've gotten a lot done. Behind me, we can see all of the rocks from working on the septic system. That's coming along. We've got a few inspections left, and we can finish that up. So the septic has been one of our greatest challenges all summer long. Between bad soil conditions and an unbelievable amount of rock, it has been an absolute fist fight. But it looks like in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to wrap it up, get it finished up, covered up, and check the box. So we've got our well drilled. Had to go down 240 feet. It was quite a challenge. There was a lot of rock, but they were able to get it done. And now we've just got to run power from the service at the property over to here. That'll give power to the pump, and from the pump we'll run a water line out. We've got to put in an expansion tank, and from the expansion tank we'll be able to branch off and feed water all over the property, whether it's to houses or to hydrants or whatever. We now have water on the property.
Babe, I'm just trying to document these unbelievable rocks we've got here.
So here's a funny thing. Last year I spent a whole bunch of money on a high-end Rocky Mountain wildflower seed, and I sprinkled it out here along the front of the property, thinking, hey, I'm gonna have all these beautiful flowers along the front of the property. And now all I have is some beautiful rocks.
Love it.
If you come and look right here, so we've got a few flowers sprinkled in with all the rocks. Hopefully at some point the flowers will overtake the rocks and we won't be able to see all the rocks. I wanted to do berms along the front. I thought nice dirt berms would be awesome. We could plant them in wildflowers and put trees in there and get a little privacy. And now all we've got is castle walls.
I think it looks pretty.
I think over time, as the flowers come up and the grass and we put in some trees, I think it's gonna get really pretty. I think we'll be glad that we have the rocks. All of these flowers, I didn't plant any of these other than I just sprinkled out that Rocky Mountain wildflower mix along the berm. And there's a few weeds and some grass, but the color's amazing. This bucket came all the way from California, like 1,600 miles. This stupid thing weighs 5,800 pounds, and I love it. This bucket came off of a 1981 Cat excavator. It was a 215. This is a 3-foot bucket. It's 3 foot wide, but this thing is huge. It was used for mining rock, and they had rebuilt it, and then they decided to sell the machine, and it was an extra bucket they had, and I was able to pick it up really, really cheap, and I thought it would make for some beautiful yard art. Some people like to put toilets in their front yards. I like to put excavator buckets. I put in some snow poles just so I could know in the snow where these pillars were. These are going to support the entryway timbers, but it may be next year before I get to those. The rocks just keep going and going and going. So I've got a property corner back here, but you can see I've held the berm back about 4 or 5 feet. So I've got plenty of room. I could put in a fence or do whatever I wanted to. The berm is well inside the property line. It's never going to conflict with neighbors or a fence or any of that. What you've seen so far is about 2/3 of our total rock berm. It continues on down the property line. We've got plenty of rocks. If you need some, come on over and get some. So what we've looked at so far is just one side of the property, about 450 feet of solid rock berm, and it's about 2/3 of the total length of what we have. With the foundation that we're digging right now for the garage, we're still pulling out rocks, and our berm is continuing to grow. By the time we get the garage done, the house done, a guest house, a barn, a greenhouse, I may have a rock berm around this entire property. So we're going to make some adjustments on the septic. When we did the initial pothole and testing, the bedrock was deep enough that it wasn't going to be an issue. But after getting this dug and fighting the bedrock and then reevaluating the soil is not going to give us the percolation that we need in this area. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to put in another tank that will become a lift station. And with that third tank as a lift station, that will let us bring our leach field up and separate our percolation, our infiltrator system, away from the bedrock and have more soil that it can percolate into, which is a real pain in the butt. It's going to require another inspection and more work, but I only want to do this system once, and I want to do it right. So the third tank will be a lifting station, and it will have a pump in it that will lift the water up and then through a pressurized pipe take it out to our leach field, which we'll have to move to a new area in order to install it in a place that's going to let it percolate down into the soil. So it's been a real pain in the butt, but we've got a solution. We know how to fix it, and it's not really anybody's fault other than we've had some surprises with the soil. And that's something to consider as you're out building your place, that the more information that you can get about your soil and what lies beneath will save you a lot of headache and hassle as you're building your home. So with the third tank in and the lift station in, we're going to have to move this leach field to a new area, which means redoing all of this. And by redoing all of this, I'm going to have to backfill all of this. So all of those rocks that we moved out of here, that was a great practice, but all the dirt's going to have to come back into here and fill this back up, and we're going to have to grade this out smooth. So it's going to be a lot of additional expense, a lot of additional time, and if I couldn't do my own dirt work, move my own rocks, and put in my own system, I would be in a world of hurt if I had to pay a contractor to do this, because it's an unbelievable amount of work to find out that this system is not going to work in this soil at this location, even though our test pits and our initial inspection said that everything was going to work. So wanted to get you an update on progress on the septic system, or the change in direction on the septic system, and let you know about the well and what's going on there, and give you a look at all of the rocks that we've dug out and the rock berms that we've got. So thanks a bunch. Appreciate you coming along with us and in sharing this adventure. Please subscribe and hit the little bell so you get all of our notices every time we post a new video. And good night from our little haven on the mountain.